Yeah, welcome. So this is presented alongside MMF UK. Annabella is in the audience here as well. And IMUC, Tessy is on the panel. So IMUC is our German organization. And of course, EMMA. EMMA is the European Music Managers Alliance. We unite lots of music management organizations across Europe, 17 of them, to promote, advocate, and support managers. If you don't know about a local management organization or you're not sure what's available in your country, please do check our members on our website, our members. We'll post it in the chat in no time. We also will share a WhatsApp group specifically for Reeperbahn for international managers. So you're very welcome to join that. We'd love to see you in it, and we'll use it to keep you updated, share news about what we're doing at the festival, and also if there's anything else you can share when your bands are playing and everything like that. It's a very open space. Find other managers, make friends. And you can also subscribe to our newsletter. You can share your information within our managers directory as well, which it's just a great place for you to check out what other managers can help you with, where they're based and everything like that. It's a really useful resource, so go ahead and use it. As I said, they will be posted in the chat by the wonderful Aga. So, sorry, that was my spiel. Hello, everybody. Hello to my wonderful panel. I'm Jess, I'm the Executive Director of EMMA, and I will be moderating this conversation today. Would you all like to introduce yourselves and give us a bit of a background of your experience of Reeperbahn in the past? So Evelyn, I'll start with you, of course. So if you go ahead.
Hi, I'm Evelyn. I am running the partnership department at Reeperbahn Festival, including those departments which include showcases, the networkings, which are receptions and stuff, also sponsoring, ticketing, so basically all partners. So I'm glad to be here and to be invited and to tell you something about Reeperbahn.
And what Reeperbahn would this be for you? How many years?
Oh God, it's my 15th year. So I started. So yeah, I started actually when it became when the conference part was added to Reeperbahn. I was working on a different B2B platform before. I think I saw Frank Klaus here. If that's my Frank that I used to work with, I was working.
Great.
Hey, so lovely. So I was working for Womex before, so it's my 15th edition this year. Yep.
Wow. Yeah, just to add, I think this is going to be my 6th. So I'm feeling like a bit of a veteran now these days as well. Sim, let's go to you next.
Hey everyone, so I'm Sim. I am an artist manager, was previously on the accelerator program, mainly work with composers now and in sync. So I've kind of switched a little bit since I first joined Accelerator. I also work for a company called Audio Salads, mainly in business, biz dev, and in marketing on campaigns. They're a delivery and distribution company. I see a couple of people from Music CSAT group here on this course, so nice to see John and Andy. And then I also run a small voice clinic, working with people who've got voice issues. So that's me in a nutshell. This is my second Reeperbahn this year. So actually last year was my first time, although I've been to many other conferences before. So yeah.
Well, we'll dig into
okay, cool.
We'll dig into how it differs from other conferences, because it is a unique event for sure. Tessy, last but not least, sorry.
No problem. Hi, I'm Tessy, based in Berlin here. I'm mainly an artist manager. I'm on the board of IMUC, which is the German MMF, and board of EMMA with Annabella and Jazz and some others. And I'm mainly an artist manager with a million other things on the side. And I think it's my 10+ year at Reeperbahn. And I'm just started thinking about it. I think I've been in different roles there as well. back in the days when I was still working at a major record company, then starting my own company, now being in all the associations. So it's, yeah, it varied over the years how you use or enjoy Reeperbahn. That's it.
Absolutely. Yeah. We'll dig more into that as well. But to kick things off, I would love to start with a bit of an overview from Evelyn in terms of what can we expect from Reeperbahn, what kind of size is it, how many venues, just if you can just give us that kind of basic overview so we're all on the same page.
Numbers. Lovely first. So we have Reeperbahn Festival is both a B2C and a B2B event. We have an overall attendance in 4 days. It starts the 18th of September and it goes until the 21st. So it's 4 days, Wednesday until Saturday. We have 50,000 people attending Reeperbahn Festival. Among them are about 4,500 to 5,000 roughly B2B delegates, not counting the artists that are at Reeperbahn Festival and everybody jumping around in Hamburg at the same time. So very busy during those days. Also, what's kind of important to understand is that we started as I said, I started when it became the conference was added. So we started as a commercial festival and the conference was added in 2009, 10. 9 was like a little shot. So that's something to keep in the back of your mind whenever you go to our website, whenever you are interested in bringing artists to Reeperbahn Festival, whatever, there is a component which is still very B2C driven, unlike other showcase events where, the room is basically filled with a public audience to create an atmosphere. So that's why also we still have a two-sided booking system. One is creating artists. We have a budget that our colleagues are spending on bands that we sell tickets with, full stop. Then we have the system of showcases where we work together with partners. I hope my internet is all right. Did I freeze? No. Okay, good. So that's, and then we have about 450 to 500 artists. About half of it is showcases, half of it is curated. We have about 90 music venues. We have about 90 music venues in total that we use. Among them are like 40 music venues. What other numbers might be interesting? I think that's it.
Well, that's a great overview.
90 venues in total.
Yeah, a lot of music venues.
A lot. So it's massive. That's why I think it's so cool that Sim is here, because having the perspective from somebody who has been there for the first year, it's quite overwhelming at first, I believe. So I'm really looking forward to hear what you've got to say.
Tessy, you raised your hand. Or did you not mean to?
Sorry, I didn't.
I just wanted to check if there was something you wanted to add. No, it really is a huge event, and I cannot express enough how overwhelming that can be at the beginning. I just wanted to ask a quick question regarding the booking, as you were describing, half of it being curated and half of it being showcases. So what is the real difference there? Because obviously there's some curation in the showcases as well. But
oh, definitely. Yeah. So, well, basically it's as I said, the bookers have a budget that they, like any public festival, they need to sell tickets with the bands, that our music loving, in Germany we say truffle pig, and that doesn't mean anything bad. So the nerds that are digging, and so it's always been very newcomer focused. So that's why actually it became a conference at one point, because the music industry came naturally, because they wanted to discover the newcomers. So they are still in it, working on who's the next one. But their focus is finding a good balance and finding a interesting mix and finding some headliners, some not, but it's focused on the Hamburg, Northern German, some Danish audience that will attend Reeperbahn Festival. And then when it comes to the showcases, we have partners like we don't know what the next hot shit from Canada is, or from Korea, or from the UK, some, but in all these territories that we work with. So basically, we sit down with partners. A lot of them are music export offices. It's actually becoming more and more different partners, also like labels and agencies, and some are grouping up together, so it's not even one organization behind it, who say, okay, we have an interest in presenting our artists at Reeperbahn Festival this year, and they might not be interesting for the booking, or they might be fantastic and interesting, but we already have 3 hip-hop artists from an English-speaking background. So but they, as it might be part of an overall strategy to bring the artists to Reeperbahn Festival that year, that's the opportunity to come as a partner. And then it's basically the same people that are looking at the band content-wise, because the partner is picking up the costs from the venue, some communication costs. So there's a package price. But at the end of the day, it's the same people that are looking at the bands that are showcasing, whereas the curating team, the curating bid, but they can take the money glasses off because they don't really have to spend money on them. Yeah. And then sometimes, well, we do say no, so it's definitely not a pay to play. That was hard in the beginning to bring across to some partners because that we're used to that. But turns out that it was a good model. Because sometimes also it's a great band, but it's too early, and or it doesn't make sense yet. If you don't have management, if you DIY, it's like, whoa, probably too early. So we advise a little bit, and we play with the program with the partners, and then we find the right venue, we find the right date, we find the right fit, and then and then it goes ahead. And basically it's all integrated in our system, so that from the artist announcement point of view, there's no difference between those. The only thing is that showcases are additionally communicated in the conference part. Okay. So that's basically, but from the audience that is standing in front of the room, it doesn't really have any difference.
They have no idea what side of things anyone's been booked through. I mean, it's a really important point, because if you are looking to get your artist booked at Reeperbahn, then it shows that there's a number of routes through. There's presenting your artist to the bookers, but then also looking at what partners you have contacts with, maybe your local export offices, maybe organizations that are active at Reeperbahn. You can look at those routes in as well. And again, it looks all the same to the audience. They don't know.
Not only not to the B2B audience, where it should be a little bit standout, but also if you just have 1 or 2 artists, because we only do it in bundles for the entire night, so it's not like one here, one there. That's just wouldn't be possible. So if you know somebody else who's whatever, doesn't have, just come up with a funny name and throw your strength together and present a night. That's also possible.
Yeah, that's a good point. You, like, as you said, labels and everyone are doing it now as well. So why not management companies or other similar organizations, for sure.
And I know it's of course, adding a cost to it is always a struggle, but at the end of the day, if showcase events, like they're always an investment. And like, even if you get picked by the booking team, if it's a new coming artist, it won't cover all the travel, like your 5-piece band, it won't cover travel and everything. So if you are considering doing anything and showcase events, it's always something to consider first. What's your strategy? Yeah,
absolutely. So now we have a good idea of what the event actually is, how big it is, how it operates, that it's a bit overwhelming, all of those things. I really want to look at how best to prepare for an event, especially for managers. So Tessy, you have been to Reeperbahn quite a few times. How do you generally prepare, and what do you recommend for new managers or even experienced ones heading there? What are your tips and tricks or secrets?
Yeah, I was thinking about it, and as I've been there, as I said before, in different kind of roles, I think before you go there, you should, think about, why am I going? This time it's probably with an artist. You even applied for a show, the artist is playing, fine, then you definitely want to reach out to booking agencies, etc. So even if you don't yet have access to the delegates database to see who's coming, I think just reaching out as well to, especially Hamburg area, if you're searching for a local promoter, whatever, asking, because the Hamburgers, even if they're not really going to Reeperbahn, they can come to your show if they're not a participant or something. So this is mainly, or if you search for a label publisher, so you should all invite them then to the show for sure. Then if you come with an artist but he or she or the band is not playing, but you want to introduce, sometimes it's good, meeting people in person. And then you probably have the first contact, and then you start, and you just spend a day or two with the artist, because I'm sure you want to save some money, and introduce the artist, to some relevant industry people. And if you're going as a manager without an artist, but as well in the role of managing an artist, and probably as well trying to make new contacts, because you need a label, you need a publisher, you need a booker, you need promo agencies, especially when you're from abroad. I get these questions quite often. Now we have a label in Germany, or better say, we have a distribution, we can do this, and my artist is playing a first show, but we need some promo on the ground. And then as well, first of all, ask your colleagues here in Germany if they have any recommendations, who to meet. And because this is as well a good place to meet new contacts. And then as well, depending if you have a pass for it, for sure you can access the delegates database, so you see who's coming, and then reaching out to them upfront and try to make appointments. And what else? Or if you can't afford this, even not without our discount, helping now the Reeperbahn. I'm not employed, guys.
You should be.
Hey, send me a contract. As a consultant. Anyway, kidding. Or then as well, if you just go there before, again, make your plan, what you want to do, and then reach out to the people if they are showing up at Reeperbahn, and then make appointments already from 3 weeks ahead. The sooner the better, because a week before I get here requests like on an hourly basis. I'm like, guys, I'm full. And normally as well on Reeperbahn, don't make too many appointments up front, because they won't happen.
Yeah.
I always
be realistic.
So as well, that I think, be on Reeperbahn, search for a good place, because everyone will pass by you at one point. For sure, you don't know them, but as well, if you arrange a meeting, and then for sure your meeting partner will be late, but you can use the time, just talk to everyone there is very talkative. They're not, you as well, from all around the world, but as well, we Germans, we help. And then you ask, oh, there's a reception from the orchard. Do you know anyone? Can I just go inside? They always let you inside,
If you're a good talker, you can always get in. Sure.
Have to be a good talker, but just be on the street, in front of the Onyx, whatever, on top of the Mojo.
Arc Hotel Onyx, which in case you haven't been, the Arc Hotel is kind of the central point of the festival. It's where a lot of meetings are done. It's where a lot of the conference is held. And so it's a really easy spot to find other people, for sure.
So just to finish this up, think before, what is your goal, who you want to meet, and then try to find via management here through Emma, contacts with help, look at the delegates database. If you have a pass, reach out to these people, and then make 2-3 appointments, not more, and then go with the flow. Just ask when you're there, ask people, tonight there's a reception of a publisher, I want to go, can you get me in? Or I don't know, this is better to be done, upfront, because they're all always overcrowded. But as well, to stand on the street, go there and you meet people. Yeah.
And I will add, one thing about what you're saying, Tessy, is it really helps to maybe have like 1 or 2 people that you're kind of sticking with, or that you're in regular contact with. It kind of expands your network really, really quickly. So one way of doing that, if you don't know anyone who's going, I mean, obviously there's plenty of people in the room right now you can meet, you can chat to. But also we have this Managers Buddies program, which I've just shared the link to in the chat, which we're doing because AAM, the Australian Managers Organization, and MMF Canada are also participating in this. And basically we'll match you with another manager from another country. And so they'll have a whole different, contact base to you. So by pairing up with them, you don't have to spend all the time in the world with them, but they can give you some pointers, help you find some new people, and help you achieve those objectives. But I think what Tessy's saying in terms of go with an idea of what you want to achieve, even if that idea is a better understanding, like just really find the idea and invest in it.
And one thing I wanted to add is also, don't only think Germany, don't only think, Reeperbahn, but actually there are, especially eager people to meet, that are just, sometimes the Germans are lazy and they just stick with their, buddy that they've been hanging out, and it's like a class, sometimes it's like a class meeting, and they just hang out at the kiosk, whatever. And it's not communicated anywhere. And if you're not lucky to stumble across somebody that who tells you, you will never find out. But it's also, there are a lot of different other Germans there that are not disappearing. But also think about, there's Korea there, there's the US there, we have India there for this year, we have Latin America, we have all over Europe. And with Germany being such a central spot, especially if you think about, touring your artist or building a European strategy with bringing it to Germany, and how easy you can travel to the countries around it. Just think about Poland, think about the Netherlands, and check out what events they are presenting, and go and I always try to find the organizer and then be like, okay, tell me, I'm looking for XYZ.
Yes, take advantage of the organizers. Although I feel like managers are natural organizers generally, so take advantage of that even. So Sim, last year was your first year, and before I kind of get into how you prepared, what were your biggest surprises? Like what were your impressions of it? Just let us know how you felt about it.
Do you want my honest impression, or
Yeah, sure, prepare. I mean, obviously we have a bunch of managers in the room who might not have been before.
Yeah.
And so what do you want them to know?
Well, first of all, I thought it was a good size. I thought, I love Hamburg. I love that everything's walkable, so it's really approachable. As Tessy mentioned, you could be eating a sandwich on a bench outside and someone or will walk past with someone you don't know, and it's a really nice way to meet people. It's very open, and people are talkative, so it's a really nice size, I think, compared to some of the other conferences that I've been to that are a bit bigger. You get to know people quite quickly, and connect with people. Like I remember coming away from Reeperbahn and connecting with people on email and then meeting up with them afterwards, and those people were maybe like, I remember having actually at the MMF event last year, meeting someone in Sweden and then meeting up with them at a different conference later in the year, which was just a really nice way of just connecting and meeting new people. One thing, I mean, I know that it was on the Reeperbahn and in the Reeperbahn district. Obviously I was aware of that, but it can be in your face, and some of the events do happen in certain venues that that maybe gigs normally wouldn't happen if you're used to going to other conferences. So that's something that I was quite I'm from Amsterdam. there's a red light district there. It's very, I'm very aware of these places, but it was different to different conferences. So that's something maybe just to get used to. I didn't feel unsafe at all. So that's, so that's just something to know. If it is your first time going, it's a really safe place, and there's loads of people, and like I mentioned, you will bump into people that you might know. So yeah, they were my first impressions. But I came away from it with loads of connections, which was really, really useful. So yeah, I hope that gives you a little snapshot of my
yeah, and I mean, it's definitely something to think about. If you've never been before, it can be very overwhelming. The Reeperbahn as a space, it's very, very busy. It's hectic. It's not just a festival. It's really, Annabella's saying she felt very unsettled the first time, but it's not, it doesn't feel dangerous. I will say that in preparation, I would look up maybe a couple of places to eat and drink that are just slightly back from the Reeperbahn, like the parallel streets, so that you've got somewhere, if you're feeling overwhelmed, you can just like head off to one of those. And there are a ton of really nice cafes just like a couple of streets back. So you don't have to be on the Reeperbahn at all times. There's honestly a great food and drink culture there, so it's really nice.
Yeah, definitely.
Also, I recommend sometimes, especially when it comes to Friday, Saturday, I myself, because then it's not the prostitutes so much, but it's more the hens nights and the party. Those party people, they come to Hamburg every weekend. That's why I don't go out there during the weekend. But then you have sideways that you can safely walk in. That if you stay on the streets, and it's not like that you have back alleys like at South by or whatever where you can get lost. It's just mainly street. I just tend to, I want to go to Molotov, which is on one side of the Reeperbahn. I'm at the Arc Hotel. I'm taking a little bit of a detour and walk by a side street, just because I can't be bothered with those idiots.
Yeah, exactly.
There's some really, really nice places. Yeah, if you go like literally 2 streets or a street further, like a parallel to the Reeperbahn, there's some really nice cafes, really nice places to eat. If anyone wants recommendations, I mean, I'm sure Evelyn, you've got way more recommendations to give, but there's so many lovely spots, even like late at night, just to go and have a drink with a group of people. If it's very safe, despite all the hustle and bustle on the Reeperbahn.
But yeah, I would recommend finding a couple of those spots. I'll share a couple in the WhatsApp chat as well, so that you can find some. But also because the Arc Hotel gets very busy, it can be difficult to have meetings there sometimes in terms of actually finding a place to sit, because there's just so many people coming through it. So it can be useful to find somewhere else to have meetings and invite people to that spot. And it can just be a cafe. Like, everyone's very fine to find them. I think that's definitely one of my pieces of advice for preparing. Evelyn, in terms of like, what are the main tools for preparing? We've got the delegate database. Do we know when that's opening and everything like that, when people can start looking through it?
I think it should open next week. Something like that. So soon. And also the timetable is the announcement is going to be in a couple of weeks. So because so far it's only the listing, but then you have the timetable for everything. That's something to look at. And I was actually picking my brains, so I wrote down some things. Alongside with the purpose of why you're going, it might also make sense to check out. We do have, as a good start, if you're on your own and you don't really have a peer group, it might be a good idea if you want to hit Berlin on your way there, because we have the Berlin experience on the Tuesday. And we started this only for international delegations, but now it's open for everyone. So you can meet it's definitely the Australians going, it's the Canadians going, the Koreans are going, the US, the HYM is going there with the delegation, and then individual people. So it's around 100 people. having some networking, some office visit, and some panels, informational panels and stuff on the Tuesday. And then at 5-ish, everybody joins together on the, I'm not supposed to say party train. So it's the networking train that everybody.
To Hamburg.
And it's actually, it's a good way to meet people, get drunk. A really good way to meet people on the way to Hamburg, because everybody is very open. It's a small group, and then you can grab your first couple of people and walk around with them and discover and introduce yourself to other people, and then you might disappear in different ways or whatever. So that's something that I can definitely advise. Also, the events, if you go to go through the networkings that we are presenting, look up countries, organizations, and of course look what Emma and MMF are doing, and join for their activities. Are you doing the B2B garden again?
No, that was EMI, I think, that did that. We are doing East Hotel on Thursday. So yeah, we did East Hotel on Thursday last time as well at 6 p.m. It will be preceded by a really great management panel, which you should all come to, of course. So we will send out more information about those when they're announced. But yeah, the Thursday afternoon, evening is our event. So get that down already.
Yeah, that's definitely a good one. And the things at the East Hotel look like vaginas, I was told. So that might be a good reason to go as well.
Okay.
It's an arts hotel.
It is. It's a really nice hotel. As Annabelle is saying, it's got a lovely bar. It's a great place to meet people, and yeah, pretty solid place for meetings. I think I tend to default to East Hotel, in fact, for meeting people.
Yeah, and it's one of our 2 main conference spots. So a lot of sessions. We have about 100 sessions at Reeperbahn Festival to all topics of all kinds. They're presented at East Hotel as well. Yeah, and then also we have matchmakings that you can join, and that they will be announced soon as well. There are country-wise, like some of the partners having, like Ireland, for example, is having matchmaking, but that's more leaned towards Germany, meeting Germans. But then there are open matchmakings that you can apply for, also for different kinds of topics. That's going to be announced soon as well. I'm not sure if it's next week or the week after, but if you sign up to our newsletter, which is on our main page, it's not in the footer or something, it's somewhere in the text, because I looked for it myself at one point and couldn't find it, so it's there in the text. So that's a good point to hook up, and then it's what I said, join a friend. If you have someone, especially from Germany and this industry, the disappearing ones, and join people that you've met before and that have been to Reeperbahn Festival before, and leave time to float is definitely a must.
Yes, absolutely. And that kind of brings me on to the next bit I kind of wanted to talk about, and my questions have ended up or jumbled all over the place, so anyone can jump in. But so when you're actually there, like the cadence of the day is like, how do each of you kind of plan your day? Obviously, Evelyn, your day is going to be slightly different from ours, because I'm sure you're working and busy, but in terms of like the number of meetings, is it better to meet in the morning? Are there receptions in the afternoon? Like, do you is there a downtime element to your day? Do you work that in? Tessy, as a experienced.
My Reeperbahn these days looks very different. So I'm not giving you an example because I sit all day in meetings because of the association. So Wednesday, Thursdays are at least during the day full. But what I would recommend, first of all these receptions, they're extremely good for networking, from labels, publishers, booking agents, especially every big one, but as well smaller ones, they do receptions. And they're mainly happening, the first few are starting Wednesday evening, then it's Thursday. Thursday's, I would say, the main day, and a lot as well happening Friday, but Thursday is, I know we have invitations, and if I would go to all of them, I would spend 5 minutes on each, because they're all at the same time. And But like, for example, I'm aware of 2 booking agencies who as well do breakfast receptions, brunch receptions. So it's not, because mainly they start at 3, 4 in the afternoon towards the evening before the shows are starting. But you can already as well go to brunch ones, lunch ones, and for sure now, as you haven't been there and you probably don't have the context, how do I get there? How do I know about this? So first, as I said before, whatever your plan is, you search for a booking agent. So ask someone in Germany, or look at the booking agents you're interested in, and then just ask them. They said, I'm coming. Are you planning having a reception? If you can't, ask one of us. But and if you can't get an invitation up front, first of all, as well, you can always go there. If you're aware of it, where it is and when, you just go there. And everyone, the weather is normally great during Reeperbahn. I must say the last years it was fantastic.
Yeah,
so
really
you
good.
stand on the street because they're always overcrowded, so everyone's standing on the street. But or just whenever you meet people, you made a new acquaintance, whatever, ask, so what's your plan for tomorrow? And then they're going to tell you, okay, I'm going to Sieber, Sony Music, Warner Chapel, da da da. And then you say, oh, that Warner Chapel. I'm not sure if Warner Chapel is doing anything this year, but just taking as an example. When is it? Where is it? And then just go there. Go there. No one's really, mainly they're anyway packed. And you can't
they are generally really
have
busy.
an invitation, because if you're coming 5 minutes late, then everyone goes there because it's all so close and everyone goes there. But I think I would do, ask people, check up front if you can get invitations. And then as well, if you go there, they're so used to it, go in there, ask someone, but most people have their delegates passes, so you see a name, but just ask who's an agent here, who's an A&R here, can you introduce me? And they will do it. They will do it.
Yeah. Ask for what you want. I would also say with the receptions, this is one reason to buy your ticket earlier rather than later and register on the delegate database, because lots of places, including Emma, go through the delegate database, pick out the relevant people and send them invites. And if you're not on there, if you haven't registered yet, then you won't get the invite. So that's definitely one reason to kind of, if you're getting a ticket, do it sooner, get on that database, make sure you're on it. Follow relevant people on LinkedIn. They often share on their LinkedIn, like the RSVP link saying we're hosting a party, come down. They're generally not super precious about it. So there's a few exclusive ones, but generally people are pretty open. So ask questions, check out LinkedIn, look at the delegate database, who might be. You can even, I mean, already you can see the speakers, which is, you can start working out who you might want to meet, who might help you achieve what you want out of this festival. Sim, how does your day look?
You can also filter in our program. So if you go to the conference part, you can filter, for showcases, you can filter for receptions, networking, matchmaking, stuff like that. So that helps.
Good. Sim, how do your days look when you're at the festival? Like, how do you tend to organize it?
Usually no downtime is the one. No. So I totally echo what Tessy and Evelyn are saying in terms of like, make sure you have meetings, but don't fully book your schedule, because there is a lot of just like, oh, you meet a person and they might be going at somewhere, and then you're like, oh, I'm just going to go with the flow. And then you meet another group of peoples, and then you're like at a different party or a different networking event. So definitely keep some room for that. But I generally, if I'm getting a pass, I'll go through the delegates list and look at who I want to meet or who might be interesting to me. I usually don't reach out to people through if there's a portal. I usually don't. I go and stalk them on LinkedIn, see who they are, and see if I've got connections with that person, because I personally, that's my way of doing it. Everyone has their own way of doing it, but I personally don't like cold emailing or messaging people. I know that that's what it's there for as well, but I always think it's better to like find someone you might have in common, and then say, hey, I see we have this mutual connection. Or I might say, you know, Jess, do you mind introducing me to this person, which I find really useful.
Really smart.
Sorry?
That's really smart.
Yeah, that's my secret. Don't tell anyone. No, so yeah, I usually find out that way, or I also put it on social media and LinkedIn that I'm going to Reeperbahn, because there might be people that are in my network, close network, that are going, or they may know someone who's going that they can introduce me to. So that's, I always try and plan my meetings in that way. I'm quite organized. So if there are people that I really want to meet, I will book a meeting in with them, send them a meeting invite, and then confirm the time and place we're going to meet like a day before, or on the day. A lot of the times it's on the day, because, you know, as the other two have mentioned, your day might not go as planned, or you might be running late. So you want to make sure that you have their number and their email address to make sure that you can confirm on the day whether it's still going ahead. Then yeah, definitely the networking events. I'm similar to Tessy. I just spend 5-10 minutes just going around like a crazy person, because often there's like multiple events at the same time. But like, if I don't know anyone there, I'll try and find out ahead of time whether I know someone going, or ask if I've met someone new. Oh, are you heading to this and this networking event? Yeah, and just try and find the one person I know or looks friendly and go chat to them. And then,
I mean, it's where we met, in fact.
that's where we met.
There
Yeah.
you go.
I saw Annabella, and I was like, I'm gonna go to Annabella and chat with her. And then soon I met Jess, and I met loads of other people. And then yeah, I came away from it with, you know, loads of people that met at that particular MMF event. So that was great. And then the most important thing I'd say is, if you do meet someone, grab their email in the moment, like after you're about to say bye, grab their email and literally email them on the spot with a, hey, this nice meeting you. This is my email address. Because I find it great when someone hands me a card. I love it. It's got such a personal feel to it, but I end up losing it, or I end up taking a picture and I can't remember. Whereas if someone's emailed me, I'll see that when I'm coming back. Yeah. Especially like, yeah, so I find that really good way of following up with people, just having that email in my inbox and being like, going back to that. If I'm there with an artist and I'm doing shows with artists, it can be quite difficult to plan your day. So again, it's about being flexible. It's about also getting to know the people that work at the venue. I'm a person like that gets to know the security guard, the bar staff. Like, I will go and say hi and get to know people's names. That's just, maybe that's from my event background. But I will go and, you know, from the doorman to the guy who's doing my sound, I will make sure that I know everyone who's in that venue. So as a manager, make sure that you know who's around you, and appreciate the team that's making it. It'll just make your show much better, especially if something goes wrong. And then I guess as a manager and artist playing showcases, just don't expect too much if you're not bringing your own sound guy. Sometimes things do go wrong, and it's about how you deal with that situation, whether that's on stage, on the side of the set, whether you're on the side watching, or whether you're on stage as an artist. It's often, as you know, booking agents will appreciate that you can't
understand
perfect show, but it's about how you resolve that on stage, how you deal with the crowd as a manager, going up to the booking agent afterwards and just having a nice conversation instead of, yeah, just feeling really stressed about it all.
For sure.
So, yeah, and then post, I'd say, is just follow up with everyone you've met, basically. Yeah,
I really liked your point about posting on social media that you're going. That's definitely something that you can skip, and it actually is really, really helpful. Evelyn, sorry.
Yeah, I think I should stop interrupting people and politely put them in. No, I just wanted to add, because that's really, really good what Sim said, especially with the sound manager. It definitely makes sense, but there's also a few things that you need to tell them before, because there is a sound manager at the venue and this sound manager knows the venue. So sometimes, you know, they need to work together. They need to be open to work together, because some, you know, all of us have seen those fights of sound technicians over, you know, I know the venue, but I know the band, and at the end you don't have a good result. So it doesn't make, you know, you don't want that when you have the shot with some labels or whatever in the room. I mean, that's definitely something to avoid. And also I think a little bit sticking to the venue too much. I know, yeah, it makes sense, you know, getting to know to get the best show result out of everything. But if there is somebody else who can do that job, because actually you are on Reeperbahn, so your job is to network, bring a drink budget so you can invite people on drinks. So if you're there with an artist, right? So a lot of times it's, yeah, I was at Reeperbahn, but I was with a band and I came and I left, or I didn't spend an extra day because it's, you know, it's 200 quid for a hotel room. Hotel rooms, by the way, are cheap in Hamburg. Just hop on, you know, not walking distance around Reeperbahn, 2 stops with the train, Altona, best cheap hotels, definitely good. So it does make sense to, you know, to make the most usage out of it all. So that's what I want.
That's perfect. Sim, did you want to add something?
Yeah, I just wanted to add, yeah, definitely if you're going to be there, and like Evelyn said, definitely make use of that time. And that's why I find the pre-prep so important. But in terms of downtown, because you mentioned, you had asked whether anyone has any downtown, and I started off saying I don't, but what I do is I will plan my meetings sometimes around breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So I would say, okay, Jess, it'd be great to meet you. Let's go for lunch. And then, because it means Jess gets to eat and I get to eat and we have a meeting, and it might only be half an hour, but it means you get half an hour of downtime when you eat. Because yeah, there is a lot of drinking that goes on, a lot that happens for those that drink. There's a lot of running about, but there's not often a lot of eating. So I'd say if you are planning meetings, have a little breakfast meeting with someone. I'm sure they would appreciate it too.
I'm a big fan of a morning meeting in general, because you're more likely to, your day hasn't spiraled out of control by that point. So morning meeting is more likely to be made.
But you always find people for morning meetings, especially not on a Friday after 2 days. So
yeah, okay.
You'll be disappointed because you make a meeting at 10 and they show up at 12. So
yeah, definitely.
But that's it. I think that all is the same for all conferences around the world.
So
for
for sure.
Hamburg specific.
Yeah, and just one thing around the like music exports, like I went to I think like definitely go to those events as well. They're so useful. I always do it, and like I end up bumping into people that I've met at those specific networking events, sometimes more than going to like I don't know, like a distributor's drinks or something like that, just because there's a variety of people that go to those music export networking events. So I find them really
well, they're always, the music export officers are trying to invite like a good range of people to support the export of the music from their country, which is ideal if you're looking to export your music. So it's perfect. I will say this, like the Estonian one had incredible food last year, so you could line that up.
Also, at these types of events, it's a good mix of sellers and buyers. So sometimes if you come as a seller, which most of you basically are, if you're trying to, you know, present your artist, you know, a lot of people have different hats on, of course. But if you go to an event that is particular distribution or whatever, which is a more focused buyer event, they get annoyed, and you know they don't really want to mix, and you know it's sometimes, you know, you can end up in very arrogant environments sometimes. And finding events where it's a good mix of sellers and buyers, I think people tend to be a lot more friendly and open than at those specifically targeted ones.
Yeah.
Majors, like label receptions, for example.
Yes.
And just one thing I wanted to add, just coming back to that buddy system as well that you mentioned, like I think it's so worth like signing up for that. I think the MMF and like Emma are so helpful when it comes to connecting with other managers. I remember going on tour in Australia last year, and I messaged Paul, and I was from MMF, and I was like, hey, I'm going to Australia, and they were like, well, we've just set up MMF out in Australia, meet so and so. And I didn't end up meeting with that person, but I've forgotten her name. Is it Kate? Annabella?
Yeah, Kate.
Yeah. And it was so helpful because she connected me with so many other people that in Australia. It was my first time going. I was there with the band, and it was just really, really nice to know that someone's there. That I've got someone that I know. So definitely, like, I would definitely recommend doing the buddy system, or getting in touch with Emma or MMF, just to kind of connect with other managers. Even if you're there to look for a booking agent, or you're there to, get new business, it's just a nice way, yeah, to find more
Absolutely.
people. Yeah, definitely.
Just one last question to the group, and then I already have one question asked. So everyone type out your questions quick, and I will ask. Evelyn, just quickly, is there anything new this year that maybe us like old timers need to be aware of, or should put on? Yeah.
Well, I mentioned some new territories that will be attending,
Yes.
which is new. Then the matchmakings that I mentioned, they are new this year, that we are opening up them beyond some partners and countries. And then also there's the B2 Beer Garden, that is an all-day delegates area, basically, where you can enter every day. There will be receptions from different partners, but it's more or less handpicked partners, and it's not that they have an exclusive invite list or whatever. So there is, for example, the German Promoters Associations, and if you see those German associations, for example, hosting a reception, everybody is a member, and everybody feels kind of obliged to go. Like, there you can even meet the old white men. So at least you get the faces, and then through them you get to meet the real people who make the decisions behind their backs. So that's the B2 Beer Garden. That's a good spot to hang out, because there you can enter every time, and it's different topics, receptions. I think that's what I would say.
Oh, nice.
I would recommend.
Where is that one? Just to.
It's on the Spielbudenplatz. It's right next to the Schmidt Theater. It's basically, it's like there's an empty space. It's
Right.
officially a wine garden, but we prefer to call it the B2 Beer Garden. So, and it's nice, it's pretty.
Yes, great. So I'm going to ask this question quickly, and this is to all of you. But I'm thinking maybe Tessy would have something to say here. Does it make sense for a brand new artist based in Germany to visit Reeperbahn Festival with no songs out at the moment? Just quickly, are you talking about a band that are playing, or a band that just to visit and see it? Just visit. Okay, cool. Does it make sense for a band to just visit? They don't have music out at the moment, but the first release is planned for the end of September.
If he or she has at least a plan what they want to do, because going there, networking, meeting people, to then follow up if you're ready and have a link to send, because at the moment then you can't then even send you a link, or probably a private SoundCloud link. That why not? So I would say why not? But I would keep as well the costs low, because there's no money coming in yet. But I think it's artist based in Germany. It seems it's an international artist but based in Germany, or if I get this right, Igor.
Well, I also think if you have a strategy and it's a little bit long term, like I always say, the best would be, educate yourself, which is, attending just, because not being overwhelmed the first year. Second year is prepare for an artist performance there. So you already have some releases, you already have something to show to people. but you know, you need to make the right connections, you need to meet the right people, follow up after, which is, you know, really important. And then the next year you already met some people the year before that you can invite to the show. So that's you know, in an ideal world. I know that, you know, sometimes time flies by, or you don't know if it's the right year, but that's kind of an ideal.
Just to finish this up, because I don't want to waste time, you meet there as well. A lot of producers are running around, and co-writes and authors. So in case your artist is as well searching for something like this or doing collaborations, and on panel, there's a lot of workshops as well, or there's a YouTube workshop thing or whatever, depending what your artist already brings to the table or wants to get closer to. So I think there's a lot of offers you can use, even if it's not yet released. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry, Jess.
Sorry, no, Karen.
No, I was going to say, yeah, I think the main thing is to plan and like to understand why you're going there and what you're going for. And I think in terms of like, from a manager's perspective, I think it really depends if they're going to have, you know, have they got a demo ready? Have they got their press pack to share afterwards? You want to be able to follow up with something, at least, even if it's a show, like invite them to your show afterwards if they've got a show coming out in October, for instance. Yeah, try and get the most out of it. Otherwise, you're just going to be walking around aimlessly, which is not going to probably be helpful.
I mean, I will say it's generally great to go like with an idea of what you want to do, but without a huge agenda. Like just understanding the event, understanding who's there, meeting some people. Obviously, having something to say and having a name is really, really helpful, but there's so much to get used to. The next time you'll be so on it, you'll understand exactly where to do, what to do, where to go, all of that. And maybe they'll be, you know, a year into their career and really be needing, or maybe be playing the event, and you'll be like, oh, I remember I met this person, this person, this person. I'm gonna invite them all this time. So it's probably good to do some groundwork with that in mind. But yeah, the whole band doesn't need to go. Like obviously. Evelyn?
One thing that I really want to share is just briefly in this group is also the management aspect. You know, I don't know a lot of DIY artists and everything, but be prepared that at Reeperbahn Festival, people don't have time. People want to be quick, you know, unless you might meet them in a situation where they're relaxed and at the bar. But also, if you have an artist presenting an artist, if you have a manager, it's like, okay, I can talk to manager, fine. Okay, these facts, boom, off. If people are in the crowd and looking at an artist and, you know, okay, I like this artist, I want to book him. Oh, it's actually me. It's like, okay, it's a turn off kind of situation, because people really want to, you know, I can't book you for a festival in Poland because it's going to be much more trouble. So really, if you're on that stage where you're still self-promoting and DIY, which is great, just look at it from that aspect. Getting management, I know it's a huge step, of course, but on the professional level at Reeperbahn Festival, there are smaller showcase festivals, more national, you know, smaller ones. But on the level of Reeperbahn Festival, management is not saying crucial, but very, very advisable.
Yeah, or even just having one of the band as the manager, and like, you know,
just pretend, bring your brother and he pretends to be the manager or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, this, I don't want to, sorry, we've come to the end of our time, and I don't want to keep anyone extra because, well, everyone's super busy preparing for Reeperbahn. So yeah, I will reiterate, please sign up to the Managers Buddies program if you can, if you want to. Join our WhatsApp group for managers at Reeperbahn, the links in chat, and just stay in touch. Make sure that you are sharing with others your artists' shows. Make sure you're sharing opportunities, and we can come together as managers and strengthen our time at Reeperbahn. So yes, we will see you all at our reception on the Thursday. Thank you so much, my wonderful speakers.
Pleasure.
Thank you for having us
in September. Thanks,
Thank
everyone.
you, ladies only one.
Yeah,
that's right. I like it. Bye.
Me too.
Bye.